Guess what? I'm back. Ha, you guessed right, man. Metro's here again. Episode 3 of an examination of the legacy of Pokemon, starting with Generation 1, Pokemon Yellow. And today we got a few things that I immediately come to my head that I want to talk about with the Lieutenant Surge and subsequent areas coming up. So, as always, if you guys want to contribute, please do. We should be talking about things that are relative to every person who's ever played Pokemon. And I'd love to hear your experiences. Honestly, I would. But yeah, so we're going to level up here. We're going to ding. We're going to experience up. And it's going to be an evolution. Put that in the video for that reason alone there. As you see, level 28. And it's still the first evolution. I guess he's never really going to evolve a second time here. But once again, all randomized. So... yeah, it's a pretty good Pokemon, though. I was happy to get it. I was kind of hoping for Ghastly out of the gate, honestly. I think that probably would have trivialized things. Although, I don't know. I don't know what moves Ghastly, a level 5 Ghastly would have. I guess nothing. Like, actually, it might have been impossible if I got a Ghastly, because I'd fight a normal Pokemon and we would not be able to deal damage, very likely. But there it is there. Look, he's very beef. Oh, it's just flex. You know what I mean? Now, imagine if I was able to evolve him again. How easy mode this game would be. But here we go. We are at the SSN, and this is the first topic of discussion that I want to bring up today. The first time I ever came to here, obviously, young little impressionable 14-year-old boy, I thought this was the coolest addition in any game. How did you guys feel about it, man? Don't you feel like the SSN is really unique in terms of Pokemon? I can't really think of anything else that's similar in any of the subsequent generations. I don't know, maybe there is. You guys tell me if one comes to your mind, but I've really played Gen 1 and 2 heavily, not so much afterwards, but I don't think there's any like weird segue on a boat that's, I mean, it's a really specific location as well, if you ask me. The way it's all played out and handled is, it feels like you're on a boat. It doesn't feel like you're just running an errand or something, which is essentially what we are doing. And yeah, while we're on this boat, we're going to face our rival coming up here. And that was one of the hardest battles. I remember that was the first time I really struggled, because I already knew what to expect for Brock and Misty, because I had watched everybody I knew play the game through that. But this is kind of where everybody was getting to at the time. And as you see, yeah, the speed at which I play is just enormous. No, but anyway, the rival battle here is actually it was really difficult for me. And it's kind of where you get the feel that Gary, your rival, is actually a dick. He's actually an idiot as well. He's kind of just stupid and arrogant. And yeah, I think this is really, this whole place I have very distinct memories of this place. Do you guys agree? For those of you who, your first experience was Gen 1. I guess there's not a lot of people out there, man. But yeah, Gen 1 was my first experience. Pokemon Yellow, not so much. But either way, I definitely remember really struggling with this battle. And I think it was more just because, well, actually, I don't know. I was just about to say something that I'm really sounding stupid if I do say. But just because his Pokemon were starting to evolve and were higher level. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Looking back, how is 18 difficult? I have no idea. Misty's got 20s. I don't know. But anyway, the SSN was a very memorable moment. It's where you get the first HM in the game as well. That was a very definitive concept for me. I didn't really recognize what an HM would be and how it would work. I think I gave it to a Pokemon that I really shouldn't have. Might have been Charizard. And then I remember, or maybe it was Venusaur actually. I think I used Venusaur in my first ever playthrough. But I just remember trying to get rid of it eventually. It was like, all right, we don't need this anymore. And then it was like, wait, what do you mean? Why can't I get rid of it? Yeah, that was kind of a surprise to me. But yeah, and then, the whole like where you pat him on his back there. And then he's like, oh, yuck. Or he's like, oh, yay, I'm better. Which is great because it's good to help, especially captains. And that guy's the cut master. So when you rub his back, he's, oh, thank you. I'm feeling much better. You want to eat the cut technique? I could show you if I wasn't ill. I know you can have this. Teach it to you, Pokemon, and you can see it cut anytime. Got the HM1, so there you go. Now, like I said, I did not really recognize what an HM was at the time, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think HMs have become like an inferior? I feel like they've become dated. I really don't like the fact that you still get locked into that move when you use it. I think as little as I'm interested in Insurgents, I think Insurgents and that guy's games in general, I think they have it right. Like the inflatable Lapras, stuff like that. Now look at that. Look at this scene. It's a pretty interesting scene, wouldn't you say? I think so anyway, man. I don't know. Alright, now it's time to take on the old lieutenant, alright? We'll get to see his devastating one Pokemon. Very difficult to take out, no matter what. Even if you have one Pokemon yourself, still going to be quite a challenge, as always. I don't know, it just always makes me laugh. Like, when I was young, I thought, I was like, oh man, Misty has 2 Pokemon and one of them's a Starmie. That's really good. Or whatever she has. I think it's just a 2, right? But then Lieutenant Surge has 1. And there's the Diglett K right next to it. It's like, oh yeah, I caught this level 14 Diglett, and now he's immune to everything right you can do. So I win. This was easy. I don't know, it just seems really strange. Like, if I was the head of the league or whoever's in charge of this, I would just, if somebody applied to be a gym leader with 1 Pokemon, I would not accept them. I mean, you could literally catch 5 Magikarp, and they would actually be able to do something. They would stall, you could use an item, you'd do something. Like, it just makes no sense having 0 Pokemon in those 5 slots. I don't know. But I guess that's just the way the game is, Now tell me, did you guys run into I ran into a lot of trouble with this puzzle when I was young. I didn't understand it. In fact, I remember getting really frustrated, like super frustrated, because I couldn't figure it out, even though the strategy guide, basically told me what to do. Or wait, maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering this. Was it a pattern that was always there? I can't remember. But I remember being really frustrated, and then when I eventually did it, I got it in the first try. So I don't know, was there a definitive pattern? It wasn't actually random. I think it was random, and I just couldn't figure it out. I remember slamming down the Game Boy on my bed kind of thing, and just getting frustrated with it. But yeah, I eventually figured it out, obviously. And then I came across, Lieutenant Surge, who, not so much of a challenge. He's got that Raichu. It's really, in this game, it's going to be, I think it's like a Golem or something. So a little bit more challenging, but let's take a look. We're about to battle him. He's going to make some snide comments about our stature as well, which I don't necessarily respond to well. There's only trash in that can, by the way, so that's a good thing. No bombs. Trent Hut, welcome to the gym. You look at that pint-sized challenger. You got big and brassy balls to take me on with your puny power. A Pokemon battle is war. I'll show you war, civilian. I'll shock you into surrender with 1 Pokemon. You'll be so surprised, you'll be shocked. Yeah, it's pretty challenging encounter here, especially when you only have 1 Pokemon, like I said. So here comes Golem. Alright, there you go. Very cool looking. That's a Pokemon I use a lot now in subsequent games, but, the trade was difficult. So he uses Defense Curl. And that's the game, guys. It's good AI as well, Defense Curl. Could have probably just, well, I have other Pokemon. He could have used Explosion. At least killed something, but anyway, I don't know, man. So that's that. Now, he doesn't really, I don't know. I don't know about this whole war thing. Like, the more I think about it, the more confusing it gets. But he does give me T-Bolt, which is, I think, pretty good. Or maybe the TMs are random as well. I'm not really sure. Either way, my Machoke is not going to be using a T-Bolt. We'll see, though. We'll see. Maybe there's somebody who's going to use it, but it's not going to be him. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to use any other Pokemon. I was thinking about this earlier, like, am I going to have to catch Pokemon to beat the league? Maybe. I may have to. But then when I didn't remember, like I said, Pokemon Christmas, I was able to beat, all 5 trainers? Or is there only 4? Is there actually a championing? Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I was able to beat the whole game with just Blastoise or Totodile. Literally just used Totodile. He was like in the 60s and the Elite Four were in the 40s. So if that actually happens again, then yeah, the Machoke is going to be more than sufficient. He's going to be like 15 levels higher. So here we are trying to get Flash. We cut to it through the Diglett Cave because there's tons of encounters in there. And they're all random, just like a bunch of Meowths and stuff. So now I have to go catch a Pokemon because that dude reminded me that I've only caught 9 and I need 10 to get Flash, which is kind of weird. Like I was thinking about this. The remarkable the remarkable amount of linear progression is what I'm trying to pontificate on. This game is really bizarre. And then you have events like that where it's like, I would literally never know that guy was there. You know, it feels like I guess the game's just kind of poorly made, really, is all that is. Like it wasn't made with helping the player in mind much. And the same with Fly. Like I never knew where to get Fly. I remember my buddy had Fly, and I was like, "What the hell? Where'd you get that?" You know what I mean? I didn't even know that was in the game, but I eventually figured it out. And I think the strategy guide, kind of has all the hints and the tips and the hints. But if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would ever find out some of these things. Even now, like these weird glitches, I just don't know how people find these things out. It seems quite strange to me. But anyway, now we're back in Cerulean, and we are going to go head into the Flash Cave. And it's funny because when you see people, like when you see the speedrunners go through here, they know it step by step. And there's a lot of avoidable trainers. I think I actually hit some, probably cut it out. But yeah, it's an interesting idea, the whole cave. Like if you memorize the pattern, there's no reason to have Flash. But I can't do it. Like, first of all, I'm not going to record without Flash. Like, I was thinking about that in Rejuve as well. There was a situation where you had to flash the cave in between the two towns, and it was like, I knew it, but it was so dumb to look at, to watch on screen when it's just black and I'm just talking. It was almost mandatory for me to use Flash, despite the fact that I knew exactly where I was going. I did not want that to appear on screen. It just seemed really strange to me. And looking back now, even I feel the same way. Like, especially in the Gen 1 graphics, everything just looks really weird when it's at pitch black. But so as you see, I am struggling a little bit against the flying types. So hopefully later in the game, there's not any crazy. I don't know. I think I'd really get demolished by like a Moltres, like a legendary. I don't know if I can, if that randomization will happen. I can't remember how it works. I think there might be a setting where it's like, I don't think legendaries can get randomized onto non-legendaries. It might be like a legendary randomized to another legendary or some stipulation. I'm not really sure. But I think we are almost at the end of the cave, guys. So once again, let me know how you guys feel about the whole, like, the disjointed story, right? Like Lieutenant Surge in some army talking about war. Then, the weird Flash thing where, you have to find that house way out of the way, and then the Fly in some random house that even when you get there, she's like, oh, wow, I'm surprised you found me kind of thing. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I kind of felt like it was enticing at the time. But nowadays, looking back, it kind of just looks like it was poorly made. And that's obviously expected from a 20-year-old game. Don't forget now, 20-year-old. 20 and 5 days, I guess, at this point, right? Well, this is yellow, but either way, it's an old game. Let's put it that way. And there wasn't a lot of good. I remember the first time I ever played, like, I played the Zelda games for the N64, and then people were like, "Oh, you should play the original ones." So I did that, and yeah, you literally just start the game, and there's no story. Like you can play immediately the second you start the game. So yeah, stuff like that, I guess, has really come a long way. Like segueing the player character into events and getting them started is very important nowadays. People call it, the increasing casualization of the player base, but I think it's just well made, like, so you don't accidentally do something really stupid, get frustrated, and not enjoy the game early. Yeah, it's just how it should be. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this episode. We crushed Lieutenant Surge and his single Pokemon. Next episode, I think we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Lavender Town, right? Which is one of my favorite towns. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the song in Lavender Town actually caused a lot of people, very young children, I think it was Chinese children, like 13 and under, unfortunately, to commit suicide. And I guess it was because there was some weird high-pitched note in the song, and it kind of it triggered this weird zombie-like response kind of thing, So Yeah, did you guys know that? I didn't know that until recently, but I guess we'll talk about that more in the next episode because I definitely have some things that I want to talk about in the Pokemon Tower and Lavender Town. So see you guys there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the 20th anniversary of Pokemon so far and are looking forward to Sun and Moon as much as I am. All right, see you guys in the next episode.